I would like to know how much she spends on my kids. I feel like I'm kind of being punched down on here a little bit. If I'm being honest. I furnished everything monetarily, a home, provisions, groceries, food from me. Without her being on any kind of bill, I handled everything. My work was wanting to garnish wages from my paycheck. I said, Kristen, if they're garnishing wages, you all are living with me. We're gonna live together. I can't have them keep taking child support out of my thing. So to my knowledge, she went down to the court in Conroe and had them cancel child support, is what I was under the impression of. Cancel child support.
There is a lot that goes into every day of being a parent, obviously, and my intention has never been to bleed him dry. And I have told him that several times. I don't want to take him for everything he has.
When she rattles off the list of money that she says for school programs and stuff, again, she has a live-in partner. They live in a mansion. I don't have anybody helping me.
It's not a free ride for me.
And I take judicial notice of that, as well as the state of Texas acknowledgement of paternity regarding the child, Kristen Nicole Duval. That's attached as Exhibit A. And also, and I see the attachment B, the agreed order in suit affecting the parent-child relationship from February 14th of 2018. It looks like the parties were joint managing conservators in that order. Ms. Duval had the exclusive right to determine the residence of the child within Montgomery County or any county contiguous to Montgomery County, Texas. There's some travel provisions and passport provisions. Child support was set at $700 a month beginning February 1st of 2018. Mr. Sims paid that to Ms. Duval. Health insurance, Ms. Duval was providing it, I guess, through her job. The cost of $120 per month. Mr. Sims was ordered to pay $120 each month beginning February 1st of 2018 for cash medical payments. And there were permanent injunctions about consuming alcohol within 24 hours, transporting the child in a motor vehicle not equipped with the ignition interlock device. Okay, so I take judicial notice of that prior order, and then I also take judicial notice of Exhibit C, which is the pay record of it as of June 14th, 2023, attached to the pleading.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the parties have agreed that Ms. Duval will continue to cover both children under the medical support, and that cost to her is $223, and that they will continue doing the joint managing conservatorship as well as the standard possession order for the visitation. Your Honor, I would like to call Mr. Sims to the stand. Mr. Sims, can you state your name for the record?
Justin Sims.
Is what I just said to the judge correct, that y'all agreed that Ms. Duval will cover the medical support?
That she'll provide the medical support through her employer, but that she'll elect to use that insurance, but sounds like we'll both provide it.
And is it also correct that y'all will agree to continue to doing the joint managing conservatorship and to do the standard possession order?
To my knowledge, that's correct.
Okay. Mr. Sims, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
And who's your employer?
Integrity Specialists.
And did you provide our office with a copy of your pay stubs for 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And on those pay stubs, does it reflect that your monthly average is $13,800.63 a month?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, may I share my screen?
Well, you may do so.
Okay, I think it's Mr. Sims, is this the pay stub that you provided to us?
Yes.
And in that year to date, does it say that you made a total of $165,607.48?
So that's a total which will include reimbursable expenses, per diem.
Yes, and I'm getting ready to ask you about those things, but on this, does it state that that's how much you made a year?
That's how much money was returned to me, which includes about 30,000 something dollars, which includes per diem, reimbursable expenses. My end, I'm showing a net that I netted $66,000,
But the
$66,000.
gross, but on
That-
your gross, does it show that this is what, according to your pay records and the pay records you provided us, it shows that your year to date is the $165,607.48. And if
Correct.
you divide that, your monthly gross is the 13,862 that I just told the judge, correct?
That part, there are caveats to that again,
Yes, and I'm
because
getting
a lot
ready
of
to
it-
go into that.
Okay. The amount on the sheet you're showing me, yes, is correct.
And for those amounts, does that include bonuses and the per diems that you were stating earlier?
Yes. And
And
reimbursable expenses. That means the money that I paid out that they had to give me back, which isn't counted toward that income.
is
It's
it
not
also,
at all. It's just returning money that I already spent.
and is it also, did you also provide us with a letter from your employer that states, and may I share my screen again, Your Honor?
Yes.
That as of next year, that you will no longer be pertaining bonuses because you are now in a different field?
I'm not positive about next year, but as of last year and this current year, then yes, I was ineligible for bonuses last year and I'll be ineligible this year. I don't know about next year.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean, 2024. Okay, and is it your position that when we calculated our child support using the income that you gave us on your pay stubs, that you did not want us to include any of your bonuses and your per diems and anything like that?
That's correct. Money that I received last year that I netted amounted to $66,000.
And do you always receive your per diems as of last year when you went out for work?
Correct. That's to pay for lodging and meals, yes.
And those expenses, those reimbursed expenses, is that because you paid something out of pocket and then the company then reimbursed you?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And did you and Miss Duvall separate in September 22nd, 2023?
Sounds accurate, fairly accurate, yes.
Originally in 2018, were you ordered to pay child support of $700 and medical support of $120?
Yes, ma'am.
And real quick, let me just make that correction. It was September 22nd of 2022, correct?
Of the split?
Yes, so when you split
Yes.
up?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I'm confused. And maybe it'll come out with the next witness. Are there any paycheck stubs that show what he's talking about? Because it's not common for reimbursable expenses to be shown as the year to date.
I'll share my screen again, Your Honor. So on his pay check that he provided.
Okay, is there any way you can get me that so I can look at it on my own time and not just when it's being shared? I can create
Yes,
a link
ma'am.
through Case. Do you know how to use Case Center? Can you
I
upload
can
it?
also afford you my whole 2023, or I haven't received 2023 yet, but 2022, I can give you a whole overall
Can I
summary that
just
includes
do,
nets and everything.
did you want me to send that to you now or do a quick recess and send it to you so you have a time to look at it?
I guess just email it to me then.
I'm emailing it right now. And may I call my next witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Duvall, can you state your name for the record?
Kristen Duvall.
You heard the agreement with the medical support and you continue to provide that through your employer. Is that still correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that y'all agreed to keep what you already have for your for Hope with Justin with the joint managing conservatorship and the standard possession order?
Yes.
And is it also correct that y'all separated September 22nd of 2022?
We officially separated. The relationship ended at the end of July of 2022, but I moved out of his house September 22nd of 2022.
I'm sorry, when did you officially separate and when did you move out?
We officially separated at the end of July of 2022. That's when we ended the relationship, but the kids and I remained in the home and did not move out until September 22nd of 22.
And do you know if Mr. Sims is currently employed?
Yes.
And during the time of your separation, did Mr. Sims give you any other money or items for the children other than what he was court ordered to give you in 2018?
There
Meaning
would
the
be
700
times. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Meaning the 700 he was supposed to give you for child support and the 120 he was supposed to give you in medical support?
Monetarily, no, but he's bought them clothes and shoes a couple of times when they spent time at his house.
And when he would buy them clothing and shoes, is there an amount you can say that he spent on those clothing and shoes during that time?
I would have no idea.
Would you estimate like $1,000 or you're just not sure?
I don't imagine that it's $1,000. No,
Would you estimate closer to 500?
maybe 500. I guess sure 500 probably sounds about right with different pairs of shoes and clothes.
And does it cost you $223 to cover the children on your employer?
For medical and dental, yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Mhm.
I would like to omit the pay record, up-to-date pay record, if I may, if I could share my screen.
You may do so.
Let me make this bigger. So, as of yesterday, based off of what he was currently ordered to pay in the prior order, the arrears are $520 for child support and $120 for medical support. And this is as of January 15th of this year. Your Honor, the state would ask that you appoint them joint managing conservatorship with standard visitation, that you set a medical support amount of $223, that you determine whether we should include the bonuses and per diem as far as setting child support, and you set what is reasonable for the retro. And that is it.
The state doesn't represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance to speak. Mr. Sims, is there anything you'd like to say?
Absolutely. I don't know what, I mean, I'd like to refrain from trying to make this a complaint deal, but, you know, obviously some of the things I'd like known, I don't know how pertinent they are to legalities or how much it's just me wanting them considered. It's maybe a mixture of both. But again, with that number, that you showed, that 165,000 looks like a grand number again, but I only netted $66,000 last year. So when things like per diem are taken into account as an income, which it isn't an income for me, it's just to pay for lodging, meals. That's not, I mean, I know everybody pays for lodging, a home, where in my case, I work on the road most of the year. And I still have to pay for my mortgage because I have to return to a home, which I'm not reimbursed for. So the money that I pay out, in hotels can be a couple $1,000s a month, sometimes more than that. Again, that's money that I pay out that I'm not reimbursed for till about 3 weeks later. So when you look at that whole number of 165, that's an accumulation of everything that was given back to me, but it doesn't reflect all of what I distributed before receiving that reimbursement. That's very important because, we've had these conversations, myself and Kristen, about, well, you make per diem and extra money and this and that. And I just, that shouldn't be looked at that way. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that a whole number like that.
Sir, we're in the middle of a hearing. Please don't interrupt. You may continue, Mr. Sims.
I'm curious, or it doesn't make much sense to me that you would take that whole number and then not account for everything that I've, put out. And the year prior, there was probably a big number, same thing. I only netted $37,000 the prior year. So, and again, and I just took not a demotion, but I had to step down from a management position just because of availability and really a lot of it's just mental stress. It's hard for me to work on the road away from home most of the year, all year. My goal is to be able to leave that and to come home. It hasn't. I'm still paying a mortgage all on my own from the same home that I bought for the four of us, and so I'm still paying all of that. And I just want it to be considered that that big number is not the real number. That's very important to me because that number is, $100,000 larger than what I made. That's a big difference.
So how will you be paid next year? Is it salary?
No, I get hourly pay, and a lot of my pay comes from an immense amount of overtime, which I'm also, I'm getting older and things, and I'm not as able to work all that overtime that I've been working. My goal is to get out of that to be home. And when I do, that number is going to be even less. I make that amount because I work probably 20, 30 hours of overtime a week. I almost work 2 jobs to be able to make that money. And that's not sustainable for me in the future. It's barely sustainable for me now. And to set a high bar for me keeps me in the same struggle here. I'm just one guy. I have no support, whereas she has a partner, a live-in partner. They live in a nice, big, huge house. I have no financial support. I've asked her to show me records of what she spends on the kids. And the only reason I bring that up now is because that was just asked from me. You just asked her if she could show how much I spend. Well, I would like to know how much she spends on my kids. It's not that I would want them to be neglected in any kind of way. I know that they're not trying to get out of anything. I've always been a provider. I always will be. I go above and beyond to be able to provide what I do for my children, above and beyond. And I just want it considered that I'm just one guy here with no team support, no parental support, no brothers and sisters, no aunts and uncles. I'm just one guy, where she's able to, she has all of that. And I feel like I'm kind of being punched down on here a little bit. I'm being honest. And, I'm not, and when we're talking about back child supports and back amounts and all these things, I need it to be considered that I furnished everything monetarily, a home, provisions, groceries, food, from me. Without her being on any kind of bill, I handled everything. And and I'm still having to handle it all with no help. It's just me. And now we're asking for more and more money. It's hard.
Do you have a W-2?
I will. I haven't received 2023's W2 yet, but I can provide 2022's.
Okay, because I didn't think per diem was included in a W-2 unless it went over what was spent as reimbursement.
Well, that wasn't a W2 that she showed. That was
No,
just
I know. And I'll admit I don't understand a lot of what's on here. Because no, it did not get testified to.
It's confusing.
I'm trying to run some numbers, but
other things that include reimbursable expenses are part of my management role was I would have to purchase supplies. That could be $1,000 worth of supplies that, again, comes out of my pocket until I'm reimbursed that money for those supplies. I don't necessarily like it. Other companies have company credit cards. That would be more convenient for my situation. That's just not the way the company operates at this time. So expenses as far as when I'm on the road in different states and whatever, I work on a pipeline mitigation company across the entire United States. And so depending on what state I'm in, that's where I have to buy supplies. Sometimes it's like I don't know that I need it until that day, but we're expected to furnish that for customer compliance. And again, sometimes I'll spend couple $1,000, and then I don't get that back for 3 weeks until I get paid. And the reason I don't get paid like every 3 weeks is because we submit our time on the 1st or the 15th of the month and the very end of the month. Then it takes usually about a week for whatever reason to process all that through QuickBooks. And so I usually get paid about every 3 weeks. So, yeah. And I can furnish those receipts from things I've had to purchase and got money back for because they don't include those receipts on those pay stubs, but I have them or can get them. So when I do my math on what I netted last year, a net of 66,000.
But so we're supposed to base this on gross income and then get to a net with certain deductions, and they're not all the same as IRS. So I can't just take your net just as much as I'm not sure I can just take this gross. I don't even know what this is year to date. I'm trying to figure out how they got that number. Ms. Arredondo, if you know and you could share that with me, that would be helpful because I'm trying to do math as he talks and listen to everybody.
So
I'm just not getting that number, but maybe I need to count more things.
I mean, how the pay stub got the year-to-date number, or how we got our monthly income?
Even the pay stub, and maybe I just need to take a moment to read all this because I'm not. And do you have any W-2s that show what they reported as gross?
I can check. I don't know if I can see better detailed on my pay stubs with that information than the W-2s. I can see year-to-date expenses, reimbursable expenses, all that. So in 2023, when I added up all my pay stubs, there was $29,700 in per diem. Again, that's not an income to me. I don't see how somebody can get money from me that I don't even get. My reimbursable expenses were $9,428. Again, that's not money that I received as like payment. That's money that I paid and I just got back. So I have nearly $40,000 of that is reimbursable expenses. When I do my math and I take 25% out of my net, it breaks down to, for both kids, 25% breaks down to $1,375 a month. The year prior, 25% would have been $783 a month. But I paid more than that. So if I'm due some back money, it'd be good to know that too. Because I paid for vehicles, I paid thousands of dollars for vehicles, thousands of dollars for provisions and groceries and household stuff, but I don't get any return on that. I don't get any back, retro, anything for all the things that I provided for my kids. But it sounds like I'm being expected to pay backwards stuff that is baffling to hear that I owe anything back. I know this, I want this to be.
Sir, hold on a second.
Sure.
Yeah, when I add up the pay, maybe I missed something. The adjustments, year to date, and the taxes year to date, I don't get the 166.
Your Honor,
Mhm. Give me
the
one moment.
way, oh, I got the number they got.
No, I'm not getting it. I'm getting
That number is literally, if you look at the pay on the left-hand side with the payable OTTX all the way down, if you use the year-to-date all the way to the vacation hourly, that's what I got.
Oh, so that number is not even including the adjustments or the taxes withheld?
Uh,
Yes, okay, so it's not including, I see, so it says no gross,
yes.
and it's not including their, so it's not including their per diem.
No,
Does Mr. Sims understand that?
that year-to-date was just the bonuses, the overtime, vacation hours. That number reaches all of that.
Okay.
I just did the math.
Okay, and I do see that that matches. Okay. So maybe I'm misunderstanding, but he's saying I shouldn't include, well, he's saying I should include a lot of things. The first is bonuses based on that letter. The second is per diem, but if I'm understanding correctly now, per diem is not in that number. And then the third possibly is this questionable overtime. Is that true, Mr. Sims? Is that what your argument is?
Yes.
Okay, and do you see, if you're able to pull up the document, do you see that per diem is not included in that number?
Let me traverse from this screen here. So I'm going to look at my 2022 W-2, or what document are you referencing mainly? So I can look at the same one.
The only one I have is your paycheck stubs.
The last pay stub that I sent?
I don't know what you sent to them, so it's hard. I can't answer that. The one that Ms. Arredondo sent to me. Can you explain, Ms. Arredondo, what you sent to me?
The last pay check, the last pay step check, yeah. The last pay check stub is what you're looking at.
The last paycheck stub I'm seeing was a net pay of $3,743.
Look at the
That
one
was
dated
paid on
December.
January 4th.
Yeah, the one dated December 15th has a breakdown of your year-to-date paid on December 20th.
So
of
31,000 of that 165 was a bonus.
I understand that.
From the previous year. $24,000 in regular time, $18,000 in overtime.
So where do you see 21,000?
24,000 in big billable regular time in Texas.
What line is that?
So in pay, just
Okay,
pay, hours, rate.
Okay, I see it.
So year to date, there's 18,000 in overtime in Texas. I'm going to calculate this at the same time. 18,684 plus holiday, I guess, regular time in Alabama, 1,944 plus regular time in Texas was 24,056. The bonus, and then the bonus also, you know, that, and that's all stuff before taxes too, you understand? So I have
So we apply taxes afterwards. That's why we work off gross and get to net per the family code.
Yeah. So again, so that gross, that 165 is the gross, not the net, but I'm going to get there. 24 bonus, 31,587, 6,584, 6,072. Okay. Yeah. So that's all gross. All those year-to-date numbers are gross. So it doesn't show a number. Oh, so if you wanted to find the net, you would subtract the adjustments and the taxes from the gross right above it in summary. So you take that 165, 607, 48, subtract 46,312.71 equals 119 minus 24,972.82. So that's coming out to $94,000 94,321. But that 94,321 is including a 2022 bonus of 31,587. So if you take that away, which I probably won't get this year, I'm not eligible for a bonus. So take 94,000 minus 31,587.48, and I get $62,734. That's what I got last year. 62,000. You know, when you work all that overtime too, it throws you in that other bracket. They almost kind of punish me for it. I make less money when I work overtime.
Ms. Duval, is there anything you'd like to say?
He was asking for a breakdown of what I put towards the children.
I'm not sure. Actually, before we get to all that, in terms of back support, Ms. Arredondo, wouldn't they have been entitled to some possession credits when they lived together?
Yes, so when we calculated the retro based off of what he was using the income he was previously ordered to make in the 2018 order, and if you add another child to that income and times that by the 16 months, we got a amount of $2,800.
But wouldn't he even been entitled to possession credits when they were residing together and he was paying child support?
So when we did the retro, we did it from when she moved out. So from October 1st of 2022.
Is there some reason you're ignoring the time they lived together and he paid her child support?
No, when we were calculating the retro, we did it from the time that they officially moved out. And then we added the child support that he was doing of the 700. And that's how we got the 2,800.
Okay, what time frame did they live together?
We just had it when she moved out in September 22nd of 2022.
Okay, that's not my question though. Can you find out what time frame they did live together?
2020, January 2020 to the date she stated, 23.
We lived in that house together mid-March of 2020, and I moved out September 22nd, 2022.
Moved in January.
We are giving him credit for the time they were living together, which is why we calculated from the time she moved out.
How is he getting credit for the time they lived together if you're not calculating it?
And it was 2020 because she moved in right when COVID hit, and then I just spent $66,000 on the down payment on the house, and then nobody was able to work. So I had to foot the bill for the whole time we were at home, 6 months for COVID as well. But it was in January of 2020.
So doing the amount that I gave you from the October 1st of 2022 till now, we gave him the pay credit of what he paid for the child support.
But that's just for that time period.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they living together during a period of time he paid child support?
So I didn't pay child support.
Well, hold on. I'm still trying to do calculations as we're talking, so bear with me before we get to more numbers that I'm going to have to keep track of.
Well, it won't be numbers, but the situation is I went and created an order of child support for our daughter, Hope. And I paid child support, the number that you saw that I was paying for Hope. We were able to mitigate our relationship stuff. And so she moved in and we had another child. This retro stuff, but during the time she told me, because my work was wanting to garnish wages from my paycheck. I said, Kristen, if they're garnishing wages, you all are living with me. We're gonna live together. I can't have them keep taking child support out of my thing. So to my knowledge, she went down to the court in Conroe and had them cancel child support, is what I was under the impression of. Cancel child support. Okay, so we canceled it. Now we're a unit. There is no request for child support. Nobody's taking anything out of my checks. There's no questions about that. We're functioning like a family, and we have another kid. Where this new order comes in is when she left, she said, well, now that I'm leaving, let me reopen the case. And I didn't realize that when she reopened it, they were going to say, oh, well, then you owe all that money backwards. They weren't counting for the time that they lived with me and that I was the main provider for all the provisions and home and food. But that's what happened is she went and reopened something that was already existent that, to my knowledge, I thought it just went away. I didn't know that they put it on pause and then it continues to accumulate. I wasn't aware of that. I don't think either of us were, if I'm being
Your
honest.
Honor, he was given a possession credit. We added it to when you saw the pay stubs, he was given a possession credit for the time period they lived together in
Is that the
April.
43,000 or the 44,000 on your pay record?
Yes, the $44,350.90.
Okay.
And that's what zeroed it out
Okay.
during that time period.
Okay. Mr. Valla, did you finish? So yes, okay. Now that I have a better understanding, is there anything you'd like to say?
I was just going into that I do have the children about 90% of the time. He does work away from home. He is traveling the majority of the year. So, the expenses that I have with the kids, it's a cell phone for the oldest daughter so that she can be in contact with him. There's a college tuition fund that I set up for my son, myself, and that's about $220 a month starting this June. There's school lunches. There's a $900 daycare tuition a month for my son. There's the haircuts. There's the medical. There's, school activities. There's growth spurts. There is a lot that goes into every day of being a parent, obviously, and my intention has never been to bleed him dry. And I have told him that several times. I don't want to take him for everything he has. I just expect fair child support in these children that we decided to have. The relationship did not work out, but the kids are still here, and I am still raising them every single day. I don't really understand how he could get a $300,000 plus house on a $66,000 income. I don't get that whole thing. I'm not asking to take all his per diem or his bonuses. I would just like it to be fair.
Okay. Do you have a proposed number?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And sir, do you have a proposed number for child support?
The $1,300 is what I came up with as being 25%. And again, and to add to the.
One moment. Okay. So just so you're aware, sir, you got to your net and then subtracted the full bonus to get to net. I don't think that's appropriate.
I subtracted per diem reimbursable expenses.
Okay. I don't think that's because I see what you did. You had the gross including your bonus. Oh, net including your bonus, and then you took off the bonus to get to 62. Okay.
So does the court calculate it based on gross or net?
Gross, and then it gets to a net.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to, that's baffling to me where you would calculate money that I'm able to pay out that I never even get. A gross.
I'm not certain. The per diem is not in your gross. So I'm not calculating anything you don't get. Okay, so let me look at that letter again. It just said no bonus next year.
I was only able to provide that on a quick deal today. If it needs elaborated, I can request them. I just sent a request to send something stating that from Kimberly Gonzalez. Whenever I was speaking with her, she said, I said, this year I'm going to make less because I won't have bonus incentives. And I'm hoping to make this my last year on the road to not have to work that much overtime. It's hard for me. And I want to be here to see my kids more often. She said, well, why don't you see if they'll send you a letter? I have no idea what they're doing. They're in Minnesota, so they could be shoveling snow or frozen in. He just sent me a very quick letter just on my quick request. It wasn't anything that had much thought into it.
Honor, would you like me to share that letter again?
No, that's fine. Just give me a moment. What is your stance on overtime? You're hoping not to do it, but you're still doing the same job?
I have to right now. That's my job. I still have to pay for everything. But I work like almost 2 jobs by how much overtime I put in a month. And it's not sustainable for me. I've been doing it for 7-8 years. the way I was able to afford this home for my family is because I saved all my money and I put everything towards this home. Everything I had, drained myself. And then COVID hit. So I drained myself even more. And I can't, the longevity in this for me is dwindling away. I'm getting older. I don't want to be on the road away from home all year long, working overtime, slaving away, working 6-7 days a week. It's not sustainable for me. It was whenever I was providing for my family, and that was the drive getting me through it. Now I'm completely alone, and I want to be home, visiting my kids, living a normal life like normal people. It's not sustainable for me any longer. And because again, it's just me. When she rattles off the list of money that she says for school programs and stuff, again, she has a live-in partner. They live in a mansion. I don't have anybody helping me.
It is not a mansion, Justin, and he doesn't. We have our own bills to pay here as well. It's not a free ride for me. You are Hope and Hudson's father, and you've made that very clear to Hope several times. You have to and need to provide for your kids.
I do.
Okay, but then don't try to imply that somebody else is
ma'am,
doing it.
ma'am, please stop with the side conversation. Senator Ardonna, could you rediscuss your request for back support? Now that I understand from a possession credit.
Yes, so
I'm sorry, you're coming in muffled.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
My signal is a little wonky.
So the amount we got for the retro was $2,800. We used the income that he was previously ordered to when it was previously ordered in 2018. And we added a second child and then gave him credit for when he paid the $700. So it would be a remainder of $175 left off. Times that by the amount of 16, and we got the $2,800.
Are you asking for that plus the arrears?
Yes, ma'am. We are asking for that judgment plus the judgment on the medical support, which is $120, and the child support of $520 to be added together to make a judgment.
Did you do that number?
And as of yesterday, and that number would be full judgment is $3,440, which is the retro of $1,800, the arrears of child support of $520, and the arrears of medical of $120 as of January 15, 2024.
Okay, I think I only have access to this is why we really have to get you on Case Center, because for complex cases, I need to go back and look at documents. Can you show the pay record again? Because I have the pay record as of June 4th,
Your Honor.
and it's odd that it's the same numbers. Okay, that's odd. Okay, so is the 3440, does that include the medical? Did I hear you?
Yes, so
Don't you like to take separate judgments?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what judgments are you asking for?
So we would have the 2,800 plus the 520 to be together for the child support judgment in the amount of 3,320, and then a medical judgment of 120.
I thought you said 1,800 plus 520. Did I mishear you?
It was 2,800. Sorry, I didn't know if you that was the amount which was the 125 times 16 is 2,800.
Did you give him credit for anything that he paid?
So that is the credit from everything paid from the child support and medical support. Yes, ma'am. This was as of yesterday because he was paid in full in December, but not in January. He's been paying every month since that possession credit was entered in April.
I see the pay stub, the pay record again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And is it just nothing's come in yet this month?
No, ma'am. Well, I think a little bit. I can give you the exact amount.
Okay, did that possession credit include any of the amounts he claims he paid towards the child since the separation?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then my last question, you keep all saying you agree to the standard possession order, but it looks like the prior order was a modified possession order.
Yes, it was modified a little bit.
So are they changing it?
I'm not sure. I mean, quite honestly, like I said, and he said he's on the road all of the time. So it's
Is that why it was modified?
that is why it was modified.
Okay. Ms. Arredondo, do you know if there was the intent to change it or to leave it per this prior order?
It is the attempt to keep it exactly how it is for Hope to do the same thing for Justin.
Okay. Mr. Sims, is that what you're, because you had previously said you would agree to a standard possession order on the record. Are you meaning to say you agree to what's in your prior order, or are you wanting to change it?
I have no request to change anything.
Okay. And Ms. Duval, also just for clarity, it's going to be what's in your prior order?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Just want to, before I modify something that no one wants to modify, don't want to do that. Does anyone have anything else they want to say?
I'll just add one thing, I guess, since this keeps the arrears and whatever, that gets kind of confusing to me. But if we're at a 3320 amount for arrears, I basically hear that as something that I still owe from back. Would you be in agreement to offset that, being that the 3 years that you lived with me, you claimed the kids as dependents, even though I paid all the bills? Because I didn't claim them and feel like I maybe could have, and brought it up several times and just never was agreed upon. I don't feel like I owe anything backwards at all.
All I'm asking for is from the day that we moved out of the house. I'm not asking for anything prior to that.
That's where I thought we were current. But somebody earlier told me that I was ahead $120. So all the back stuff it just seems like it's trying to just extract whatever out of me. I'm not getting it. Makes it seem like I'm delinquent on something, and it's kind of offensive, and I just don't think I'm delinquent on anything at all.
Okay. I'm going to make my ruling. I'm appointing you to, per your agreement, joint managing conservators, with Ms. Duval having the right to determine the residency of the children within Montgomery County and any county that touches Montgomery County, which is the same as your prior order. I'm going to order that the visitation continue per the prior order, and not be modified for your additional child. I see that there's a request for non-disclosure in your pleading, Ms. Arredondo. I don't believe I heard any testimony about that. Is it still being pursued?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So everyone's comfortable with their address and phone number and where they work being in the court order?
One more request. I would like for both of us to go to a co-parenting, some type of instruction, be it online or something. I think it'd be beneficial to both of us and our kids to go through some type of co-parenting, something to be able to co-manage the situation better than we have this past year.
Okay, before we get to that, did everyone, sir, I'm going to ask my question again, that no one responded to. Ms. Duval, are you comfortable with your address and phone number and where you work being in the court order?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Sims, are you comfortable with your address and phone number and court order being in the order? I'm not court order, and employment information being in the court order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and just to be clear, there's no outside person harassing or threatening you or, okay, and Mr. Duval, there's no outside person, not Mr. Sims, who's threatening you or harassing you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to deny the non-disclosure request. I'm setting child support based on a gross monthly income of $8,770. I'm setting cash medical. I'm finding that Ms. Duval provides insurance for the children, and I'm setting cash medical of $223 each month, beginning February 1st of 2024. That leaves net resources of $6,626.61. So child support for 2 children is $1,657 per month. beginning February 1st of 2024. One child, when there's a step down, that will be $1,325. If the income drastically changes either way, this could be reviewed for a modification again. I excluded some things, but not everything. So this could very well turn out either on target or off target. I am going to find that he is in arrears as of yesterday, $520 for child support and $120 for medical support. I'm going to order back child support of $2,300, which gives a cumulative judgment as of yesterday of $2,820 against Mr. Sims. I'm ordering that he pay that back at a rate of $25 per month for the step up as children emancipate. I'm finding that Mr. Sims is in medical support arrears as of yesterday, $120, and I'm ordering that he pay that back at a rate of $5 per month beginning February 1st of 2024.
And that's only because I haven't got paid this. Okay.
Yeah, that 120, and even that 5 something is only because, yeah, the payment for January hasn't come in yet. I believe, does that cover everything?
And real quick, you said that you were doing the gross off of $8,770, correct? Okay. And can we have an entry date of January 25th, just so we have time to do the order?
Yes, yeah, and be careful with that visitation. I don't know how you
Yes.
want to do it, but just be careful with that. But yes, we can set it for entry on January 25th. If you all sign off on it ahead of time, there's no need to show up. If you want to show up just to make sure I received it, that's fine. If there's a dispute on drafting, that's what the entry date is for. So if you see the AG's draft and you think it's drafted incorrectly, and everyone has not signed off on it, show up to argue what you think, how you think it should be drafted. It's the same Zoom code. Okay. So everybody is free to go for the day. Thank you so much for coming in, and I will either see you on January 25th, and if not, good luck with everything going forward.
So I'm a little confused on those numbers. I got a $1,657 a month and a $1,325 a month. Are you adding both of those to come up with $2,900?
So that's the step down. That's when one child emancipates and you're down to just one child in this case.
I don't even really understand what that means.
Right now, there's child support being set for both of your children. And at some point, one of them will turn 18 or graduate ahead of the other one, most likely. And when that happens, those are the 2 typical reasons. You will only be paying child support for one child. They also could join the military. Someone could pass away. There's a few reasons child support stops. But generally, it's turning 18 or graduating high school.
So what are you proposing as my monthly payment now?
I am ordering that your monthly payment now is $1,657, beginning February 1st of 2024.
Plus 223 a month
Plus
on top of that?
223, yes.
And we'll get on working this order, drafting this order, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
We're going to get on drafting this order so we can have it for the entry date.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This child support hearing just took a dramatic turn. A father says the court is counting money he never truly made, while a mother insists she's raising the kids 90% of the time. Bonuses, overtime, per diem, retroactive support, and a judge trying to untangle it all in real time. The question is simple, but the math? Not so much. Now the judge is doing something critical, taking judicial notice of the 2018 order. This is where the foundation is laid: $700 monthly child support, $120 medical support, joint managing conservatorship, and specific restrictions. Once that prior order is acknowledged, everything moving forward is measured against it. Courts rely heavily on prior written orders, not verbal understandings between parents. If there was no signed modification when they resumed living together, arrears can continue accumulating silently in the background. This retroactive support dispute reveals a common misconception. Mr. Sims believed child support was cancelled when they lived together. But courts often treat that period differently depending on whether payments formally stopped or simply weren't enforced. The judge zeroes in on possession credits and arrears calculations, carefully separating what was paid, what accrued, and what was offset. Notice how methodical the court becomes here. When numbers get emotional, judges return to documentation. The law doesn't punish feelings, it balances records. In the end, the judge sets child support based on a gross monthly income of $8,770, landing at $1,657 per month for 2 children, plus $223 in medical support. Some overtime and adjustments were excluded, but not everything. Retroactive support was reduced to a cumulative judgment of $2,820, with small monthly repayment steps. This case highlights 3 powerful lessons. Keycap 1. Gross income, not perceived take-home pay, drives child support. Point 2. Informal agreements between parents don't override court orders. Point 3. Documentation always wins over emotion in family court. So now we turn it over to you. Did the judge strike the right balance between fairness and enforcement? Or should overtime and bonuses have been treated differently? If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more intense courtroom breakdowns.